It's time to set up our May budget, and it's going to be a little hectic this month. So you're going to want to stick around to see all of the happenings in our May 2021 zero-based budget. So this is our budget template. You can see it here, and this is what we use every single month to set up our budget and to track our expenses against our plan. And so I have all kinds of information in here. It's really evolved over the last 3 years. And I just want to share that this template is available out in my Etsy shop if you are interested in possibly purchasing something like this for yourself. I have it both in Excel and Google Sheets formats. And I always include the link to my Etsy shop in the description below, so feel free to check that out when you get done watching this video. In the meantime, welcome to the Budget Bounce. And if we haven't met yet, I'm Jen. I talk all about living life on a budget, saving for our future, paying down our debt, and all the life that happens along the way on this channel. And today we are setting up our May 2021 zero-based budget, because that is how we budget, is we give every dollar a purpose before we get it. So it's the end of April right now, and I'm setting up, getting ready for May. So let's just jump over here to the template. And you can see here that I've got several columns. So I've got our budget category over here on the left, and then I have a description or like a source. Then I have what we're budgeting. This is the actual, and then over under, and there's some additional columns when we get down to the bottom in some of the other categories. Over here is an income section where I enter what's expected and what's actual, and then that information automatically populates over here. Now, these lines that are blacked out are for our salaries, that for our regular full-time jobs. I black that out, but we have no issues with sharing the totals. So I do that every month. And so you can see with our salaries and our rental income, our total expected is $10,482. That's all over here. So now let's talk about all of this additional funds, all these additional funds that are coming in. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up what our income is going to be for the month, and then we're going to spend the rest of the time talking about how we're going to spend that money. So we're focused on this column, column C, or you can't see the C, but the budgeted column. These other columns over here, they mean nothing for the purposes of this video. For setting up, I'm not looking at anything other than this column. So we do have rental income from our other house, and then we have sinking funds. This will populate if I plug in any sinking funds down below that we're going to be using. Same thing with the emergency fund. But then we have these additional lines here. So I've already plugged these in because we've actually already received these funds, and I had them sitting in an account waiting until we were going to be able to actually take some action on some things. So I got my federal and state tax return back, and those two total $2,300. And then we also ended up selling our one of our cars for $250, and I will be talking about that when we get to the transportation section. And so we had $250 come in for that, and then we had an insurance claim for our house of $7,450 that the insurance company has paid us to repair issues with our new house. So anyway, we had some water damage. One of our toilets broke in the master bathroom. The tank broke, and the water went everywhere and destroyed the floor in the master bathroom, the master bedroom, and it damaged the ceiling of the kitchen, which is directly below. And so we have to have all kinds of work done to have that fixed. So that is what that is for. That brings our total income to $20,482, which is highly unusual. We don't normally have all of this money coming in. But we have some things that are happening in May, so I needed to reflect it. I've been sitting on it after it came in. I don't have it in a sinking fund. I actually have it in a savings account that's tied to our main checking account, which anyway, it's not a sinking fund. It's just an extra account that I have that I don't usually keep money in. And it was there, and so that's where I put it. So let's move on and talk about giving. You can see here that we plan on doing $55 for giving in May. And then in housing, we have $2,550 for the mortgage, $186 for gas electric, and nothing for water, garbage, sewer. It's normally due at the 1st of May, and it would have been in here, except I ended up paying it in April. And you're going to want to make sure and watch my April budget report, because this has been just a roller coaster ride to hear about what happened with our water bill for our first water bill for our new house. So make sure you watch that. Anyhow, internet will be 116, mobile services 186. That brings our total housing to $3,038. All right, so next up is transportation. So we are going to plan on $150 for gas, $21 for OnStar, nothing for repairs to the Lucerne, 800 for repairs to the Traverse because we need new tires, nothing for the MKX, and nothing for registrations, and nothing for Uber. That brings our total to $971. Now, I mentioned that we had $250 come in from the sale of the of one of our cars, and it was this one, the Lincoln MKX. It's a 2008, and you'll see in my April budget report where I will show the dollars and cents, but essentially we ended up selling it instead of doing the work that we planned on it. And it is the April budget report where I will explain why we were only able to sell it for $250. This actually is a non-issue now because we don't own it anymore. So 971 for total transportation. In food, I'm going to plan on 600 for groceries and 100 for dining for a total of 700. Right now, I don't have anything planned for the kiddos, but we've constantly got the kids doing stuff for us. And so, you never know when that's going to pop up. And when I say kiddos, that's our kids plus our granddaughter. So anytime we're spending on them, I put it in here. Next up is pets, and you can see here we're planning on 55 for food. I didn't put anything in for grooming. I forgot about that. That's going to be about 25, and that is a service that we pay for at Petco where you can, as often as once per week, take your dog in to have their teeth brushed, or your cat too, their teeth brushed and their nails trimmed. And so we don't do it weekly, we do it every other week. And so that is it's $20 in tax, and I don't remember what the total is. Plus we usually give a tip. So it's about $25 that we pay throughout the month. And we can literally get their teeth brushed 4 times a month and their nails trimmed for 4 times a month for only $25 for Uther. So that is totally worth it to us because we don't want to fight him on either of those things. So that will be coming out. And then meds will have $17 because we're currently paying monthly for his heartworm medicine because we can't buy 6 months at a time because he's growing. So $17 for that. And then $40 for other supplies because we seem to constantly have other things going on. And so actually probably it needs to be more than that now that I think about it, but we're going to stick with 40, and that brings us to a total of 137. In insurance, really nothing exciting to see here. We're not planning on any changes at all, which brings us to $838 for the month. In entertainment, we're planning on $23 for streaming and $3 for HP Inc. Still nothing for Cinemark. That brings our totals to $26. And then in health, we're going to do $509 for flexible spending accounts. We're going to do $33 for the gym and $100 for healthcare. This is for like old bills from the year before. Like we're out of FSA funds, but we have Matt's insurance takes like 8-9 months to process a claim. So right now we are still paying for stuff from like last fall, August, September. We're just now getting those bills coming in. So all those FSA funds are gone. So we need to, excuse me, we need to have additional funds available in case those types of bills come in. I don't have anything planned in extras for the month. And then in miscellaneous, that's where we are putting in our personal spending money, and then 150 for the household and 150 for all other miscellaneous. And we spend all of that and then some every month for just things that don't really fall in any other category here. Next up, we have savings, and you can see here we've got some additional columns here to make this work for me. So first we've got our emergency fund. We plan on putting $200 in there. Investments is $10. This is my M1 finance account that I've been, playing around with for, I feel like I maybe opened it up about a year ago. And so anyhow, I don't put anything in Acorns anymore. That's there, but I tried that out a little bit. I'm just playing around with investing to see what platforms I like and that kind of thing, because we need to be doing more of that. And I'll talk about that more when we get to our debt section. But so $10 into investments. We plan on $75 to college savings, and then $640 to retirement. That brings our total savings to $925 for the month. I'm just going to scroll down here to get the sinking funds. All right, so here you can see them all. So we have auto insurance, $230, auto registrations, 31, bug 15, business travel 15, city utilities 80, and that might actually have to go up. I'm gonna wait because our first water bill, our first city utility bill is all out of whack, but I think that might have to go up a little bit. Our clothing will be 35, entertainment 15, estate planning 20, gifts 40, healthcare 45, Henry 15, holidays 100, home maintenance 9,662. I will circle back to that. Image is 45, life insurance is 81. We're not doing 1 month ahead right now. Online subscriptions 55, pet expense 70. I have 45 in here for student loan forgiveness, but I learned after I talked about this last month that this is actually not going to be a thing. If there's student loan forgiveness, we actually will not have to pay taxes on it. That was passed. So I'm not going to be doing this. And you can see the amount is 0. And I just missed this when I set this up. We can actually change this to 0. And I may even take this line out. And then the budget balance, I really need to take this line out because I'm not running any of that through our personal budget anymore. And then technology is 20, nothing for vacation, nothing into vehicles because we're going to spend it all on tires for the Traverse. And then 10 to our wedding anniversary and 40 for Xanthi. And that brings our total sinking funds that we plan on putting away in May to $10,624. Now, obviously, a whole lot of that is this $9,662. That is the bulk of the $10,000 that came in from the insurance and whatnot, that and the tax refund and everything up above. So we are moving all of that into the home maintenance sinking fund. I'm so sorry if you heard that on the recording. We're moving that into the home maintenance sinking fund so that we can pay the contractor to get started. We actually don't think they're going to start before June to work on this stuff that has been an issue since February. But we have to pay half up front. So, and also we have to do some shopping for some of the things that we're going to buy ourselves, like we're going to watch sales and whatnot. So we have to pay them half, plus we have to be buying stuff. So this is probably a lot of the spending is going to happen in May. So I didn't put anything in here for how much we're going to spend because honestly, I don't know how much we're going to spend in May. So I'm just putting it in the sinking fund. We've got $10,000 in there now to make sure that we have it. And actually, the whole project is about $13,000 because on top of the insurance claim, I had $7,450 up there. Plus, there's $1,000 deductible. Then there's additional work that we asked for them to do while they're here. Half of well, 3/4 of my very tiny master bathroom was damaged and has to be replaced or updated or whatever. And so I said, well, if you're going to do that and you're going to be here, then I want a new shower. And while that is not something that is urgent on our list, I don't want to have to deal with contractors in our house and tearing up our house again. So we are making that a priority right now. And so they're tearing out the shower that's in there. This bathroom is from the 1980s, you guys. I'm not kidding. It is the exact same color scheme and wood and stuff that my mom did in the bathroom remodel that was amazing in 1984. Exactly the same. So I want all of that coming out, and I just want to make everything like white with a super, super light color on the walls and maybe some gray accents in the sink or the floor. It's just going to be a vinyl floor. It's going to be so simple. It just needs to be enough that we can get in and out of there and use it. This is not a spa bathroom, and it's so tiny. That is what we're going to be working on, and we're actually going to be adding to this as time goes on because it's going to cost, I think it's going to be about $13,000 when we're done. All right, moving on to our debt section here, you see part of it, but you can't see all of it. And that is because we have a lot of debts. And so if you're new here, we started our journey in February of 2018, and that I had my sick and tired of being sick and tired moment in January of 2018. We were in a downward spiral very quickly, facing financial ruin. Things were not good. It was a financial crisis like I have never ever faced before in my life, and a health crisis at the same time because my husband was very sick. He was not able to work for 10 months. And so that is what sent us into the spiral. And we just were not managing it well. And finally, about 6 months into that, I just hit the wall, and we went on a budget February 1st of 2018, and we've been doing it ever since. And so we've had a lot to manage. We had, I think 37 or 8 when I started that first month, but I think we ended up with 41 total that we found because we've added some over time. So first of all, this first section is our paid off section, and you'll notice that we have pink font and black font, and that is signifying debts that have my name on them, which is the pink stuff, and debts that have Matt's name on them, which is the black stuff. And so these are all things that are 100% paid off. We don't have to deal with them anymore, and they total $32,161. Down here, we have the charged off section, and all of these are old credit cards of Matt's. They're so old that they are long in collections. Like the original creditors no longer have these. They're not dealing with them anymore. They sold them off. We are not dealing with these right now because there's no interest or fees accruing on it. And we could not manage all of it at the same time. And it was Matt's wish that we focus on things that had my name on it and all the things that we had been able to keep current instead of focusing on these old things. So we'll deal with these at some point. They're $6,718, but we're not dealing with them right now. The next section is our actively paying section, and you can see here the balance there is $146,563. And so when we look at this, we're planning on $50 to Care Credit, $190 to a Lowe's card, $80 to a Gordman's card, $25 to a Capital One card. Those are the last of our credit cards right there. We have a private student loan of $50, and then we have child support that Matt pays out of his check. Let me move myself so you can see that better over here. So this is what he pays out of each month, totaling out of his 2 checks. And then we have $200 to our HELOC and $550 to the car payment and $250 to the family loan. And that brings our total to $2,122 that we're going to pay towards debt in May. Now, let's go down here and just look at the totals here. So I'm off by $20. I have an extra 20 because of the changes that I made. So I'm just going to go add this because we do a zero-based budget. We want these two numbers to match. So I'm just going to go up here to that sinking fund and add $20 to it. So we'll do $9,682 instead. And that should bring us to zero. So those are our plans for May 2021. It's going to be a little hectic. We just bought a new house in December. If you're newer here and you don't know that, so this homeowner's claim that we have with all this work being done is in our new house. And just like when we moved and all the expenses that came with that, I have a feeling that my extra section is going to be a little crazy for May. So we'll see how that all plays out, and you'll have to make sure to stick around for our May budget report when I do that in June. So in the meantime, you're going to want to be watching out for my April 2021 budget report, where I'm going to share all the details about what went awry with one of our cars and why we are down from 3 cars to 2 for the 3 of us. So with that, let's continue the conversation. If you want to see more of my budget setup videos, this is a link to a playlist that I have all of our budget setups, and then you can also go from there and find all of our budget reports if you're interested in those. That's all I've got for you today. Till next time.